Well, appreciate everybody joining us today. We're going to extend the value of Acumatica with accounts payable and beyond. I'm Patrick Nguyen. I'm a sales director for the Southeast region here at Altec. Also with me is Mark Uranza. He's one of our sales engineers. And today we're going to focus on our agenda, which is what is DocLink and how is it different from what's available in Acumatica and how we can extend the value and the solution. DocLink use cases, we'll talk about that and we'll demo. And then we'll talk about DocLink as an enterprise-wide solution. And the key of DocLink is it's about connecting people and the processes and the data around, the documents and information. It's about completing the life cycle of documents and transactions within your business. It's about automating, sending out documents and packages of documents out of our system that are stored in our system automatically to customers or vendors. DocLink also gives you the value of AP automation with OCR and automated matching. And DocLink also has business forms. So think about any type of business form in your organization that you have that you want to store and manage electronically and have workflow around them. DocLink has that capability. High-level overview of DocLink. DocLink is, the core of DocLink is the repository. We have a cloud solution of DocLink where you could bring in documents a lot of different ways in terms of capturing and bringing in documents, whether it's documents that come from Acumatica directly or documents that are external from customers or from vendors. We have business processes around the documents, workflow for automating and sending out documents for review and approval. We'll touch on our two-way integration with Acumatica. We'll also talk about how you could send out and deliver documents out of DocLink, and then how you search and retrieve for documents out of our system. Think about DocLink as a virtual filing system, right? Where you can securely store and manage all your documents and content electronically in one central system so that all your employees, whether they're Acumatica users or not, can easily access the documents and content to do their day-to-day activities. Documents are also linked together based on common property values or metadata values, where basically it gives you an area where you could access things at your fingertips, right? Whether you're in the office or you're working remote, you could access things at your fingertips easily. What we're going to talk about today in a quick demo, what Mark's going to show you is how you pull up an entire invoice package, how you could link documents together, how you could easily search and relate documents in our system, whether it is accounting-related documents, contracts, HR, or employee files or contracts, things like that. So let's go ahead and jump into the first part of the demo, and I'm going to stop sharing here. Mark, it's on you.
Great. Thanks, Patrick. Can you hear me okay? Okay, great. All right, so let me go ahead and share my screen here. So as Patrick mentioned, really what I'm here to cover is the ease of use in being able to go ahead, search and retrieve specific documents within the DocLink repository itself. So the first one is really the ability to go ahead and see, in this case, an AP invoice and a check packet all together. In this case, if we're looking for a packet or for documents from a specific company, we can go ahead and configure that. And here, really, we're just looking for specific invoice number 41. Right? As we click search on here, we're able to go ahead and pull those documents up together. Once again, tying those documents up specifically on a key property value. And the user can simply go ahead, click on both of them, open them up. And this use case is really useful for those that are looking for payment inquiries, right? Your vendor would call you and say, hey, have I been paid? You can see your check and your invoice. Another use case that we have is the ability to review more than 2 document types together. In this case, possibly a whole PO packet. Here, we're looking at PO 594. And if we click on that, we'll have the same search results being able to pull up all related transactions from the PO to the receipt, to the bill or the invoice in itself, and being able to go ahead and view those all together. So really the power of DocLink is the ability to go ahead and have that collaborative documents all together, being able to with one property value, pull up all the related transactions. So talking about a little bit more on the non-AP side, we can also do that with other document types, such as an HR document. Here, possibly we're looking for all transactions or all documents in my HR file that's related to Mike Smith. And when I do that, you'll see here, once again, being able to go ahead and pull up, from maybe from his hiring, from the offer letter itself, some documents that we may have, birth certificates and what have you. And then lastly, once again, from a non-AP related transaction is the ability to store other document types, maybe such as a contract inside of DocLink in itself. Here you'll see that we're able to go ahead and send an email notification for expiring contracts. And here you'll see expiring within 90 days. I can click on this workflow. It'll go ahead and bring me into DocLink in itself, being able to go ahead and view that contract inside of a workflow process. You'll see here I'm in the contract management workflow and being able to conduct a review, a checkout process if I need to, conduct different versions of the contracts and what have you as part of that process. So a little bit of a high level on what you can do from a search and retrieval point of view. Now I'm going to turn it back to Patrick to continue the presentation.
Great. Thank you, Mark. Let's go ahead and jump right back in here. So as you saw the demonstration Mark walked through, how you could bring in documents into DocLink, how you are able to view documents outside of Acumatica, and the powerful searching criteria and searching capability within DocLink. Next, we're going to talk about DocLink as the capability of distributing documents out of our system. We allow you to route documents outside the organization. If you need to send packages of documents to customers or to vendors, we aggregate all these documents together that are stored in our system and automatically send out the documents or content for that matter. And all the required documents based on some systematic schedule. You could schedule it once a week, once a day, whatever that may be. Well, we'll send, here's an example of what it looks like. We send out, we package these documents together. In this case, it's a customer related invoice and the customer PO that they submitted to you. It's linked together, stored together, and then it's sent out in one email. In the body of the email, we can configure it to say certain things, but here's a way where we can automate sending out the AR invoice with supplemental documents as an example. So how is this different? Key thing is it captures you're capturing all documents and storing it in one central system within DocLink. We bring in any document within Acumatica, such as the AR invoice or maybe the monthly AR statement. We send the documents out automatically out of our system based on a time interval. Allows you to search and retrieve for documents as well in our system. All right, so that's really how we bring value to the Acumatica integration there. Next, we're going to talk about the AP automation and the workflow, giving you the visibility to complete a whole life cycle as it relates to document retention, document management, workflow automation, monitoring, email import, invoices that come in via email. And we also automate the 2- and 3-way matching with OCR. And with that, I'm going to turn things back to Mark to jump right into the demonstration on the AP side.
Great. Thank you, Patrick. Appreciate that. Let me go ahead and share my screen. Yeah. So from the AP automation point of view, I'm really going to show you some of the couple of highlights that we're able to do with DocLink in itself. First and foremost, primarily being able to go ahead and have the OCR capabilities, being able to conduct classification of, in this case, PO and non-PO based invoices, being able to extract intelligently header and footer information, as we call it. You'll see here that the system is using labels and titles to automatically find these fields. Our OCR smart capture capability is non-template based, so it's using AI logic, as well as being able to go ahead and extract what we reference as header, footer, inline item details to conduct an automated 3-way match. So having OCR in the front end definitely helps quite a bit in eliminating manual data entry or greatly minimizing it. And then from there, we're able to go ahead and push off those transactions and be able to conduct automated logic across the board within our workflow process. So here, to give you an example, the ability for DocLink to go ahead and relate, once again, documents to one another, in this case, using a key property value called PO number, we're able to see that in this specific case, that this specific bill or this PO invoice is actually missing the receipt of goods. Right, so we're missing the receipt of goods. We have the purchase order number there. And here, DocLink also has the ability to notify you based on what we call basically notes that what the error in this case may be for that specific transaction, right? Any type of mismatches, price mismatch, quantity mismatches, or what have you. Other advantages of being able to have DocLink into the workflow process is the ability to have notifications. Here in this case, we have the ability for email notifications. You'll see here that we're able to have links going into the email itself. We're able to tokenize the body of the email as well as attach the invoice or the bill in question for this process. We also have a mobile device where you can go ahead and provide approvals or notes, provide notes as part of the workflow process within DocLink in itself. And then lastly, as a complement to the Acumatica solution that we have here, we have the ability to go ahead and retrieve and recall transactions from within your Acumatica screens. So you'll see here, let me go ahead and just arrange this a little bit better. Right, you'll have the ability to go ahead, if I want to go ahead and pull up a related transaction, in this case, possibly a related bill. Part of our Acumatica integration, as we are integrated with it, is we're able to go ahead and present a bill in the Acumatica screen, but also be able to go ahead and recall the transaction from DocLink in itself. Trying to go ahead and refresh my Acumatica interface here. Oh, that is my DocLink interface. There you go. So here, if we go inside the bill and want to go ahead and recall this transaction, we can simply go ahead and click on our View Documents button. And when we do that, you'll see that it's going to go ahead and pull up the related invoice that you'll see here within DocLink in itself. And it's not just pulling up the invoice image in itself, it's actually pulling up whatever notes are provided as part of the review and approval process. You have a workflow history, you have an audit history as well within the DocLink screens. And then just one more teaser here, you'll be able to go ahead and pull up also related purchase orders, and not just the purchase orders themselves, but also the whole transaction. So here, when my purchase order comes up, we can go ahead and go into the purchase order in itself. We can view the documents, but not just, as I mentioned, not just the purchase order, but also all related transactions to that. Here you're seeing the purchase order, the receipt, as well as the bill. So you're able to go ahead and view all that within the DocLink interface. Okay. All right, Patrick, back to you at this point.
All right. Thank you, Mark, for that. Let me go ahead and I have to share my screen here. We'll continue with our presentation. So in regards to what Mark just showed you, we're able to monitor a specific email, bring invoices into our system, do the AP process as it relates to two-way matching or three-way matching for PO-based invoices, feeding the transaction from our system into Acumatica, and then allowing you to view the image of the invoice from the Acumatica screens as well. Next, what we're going to cover is DocLink as it relates to being able to utilize DocLink for forms. DocLink allows you to create different types of business forms throughout your organization, whether it is credit card reconciliation form. We could do, many of our clients utilize DocLink for all different types of HR forms that you may have in your organization. We can do expense report, we could do requisition as well, and putting these forms through a workflow approval process once they're created, and then allowing you to search and retrieve and access those forms as well all electronically in one central system for your users. And with that, I'm going to turn things back to Mark, and we'll jump into a process for business forms.
Great, thank you, Patrick. So the module I'm about to show you is called the Smart Form Toolkit. The Smart Form Toolkit, as Patrick mentioned, can be used to initiate a business process within your organization. It could be used enterprise-wide. I'm going to be showing you a couple of examples that we have here, one of them being our credit card reconciliation example. So in this scenario, you were able to go ahead, you're typically able to go ahead and take a download of your CSV file from your banking itself. What DocLink has the ability to do is you can actually feed that CSV file into the smart form process. And as you do that, this is in this use case scenario, we have an example of a corporate credit card. So we have multiple users, right? We have John Mathis, we have Michael Brown as part of this scenario. And from here, after you import that CSV file, you'll see the columns that has been imported from the CSV file, the transaction description, the amount, the cardholder name, what have you. When this transaction gets created, the system will then split up these individual credit card files, send it into the workflow process that you're able to see here, and be able to go ahead and send these transactions to those individual owners, if that's your process, right? So the workflow process of DocLink is very fluid, it's very configurable. And here in this case, if I go ahead and open up this transaction, you'll see that these are all transactions for John Mathis, right? As we import that CSV file, you'll see that we have those property values as part of that. And here we can go ahead and evaluate that this is John Mathis's credit card statement. We can go ahead and route to John Mathis to go ahead and he can provide supporting documents such as receipts into this CSV file import, right? So that's going into the workflow process. Other use cases that we have, as we've mentioned, through HR. DocLink in itself, the Smart Form Toolkit module is very flexible. So here you'll have the ability to be able to create any fields that you need to capture from the submission process. And once you do that, once again, being able to go ahead and get rid of that paper trail that would initiate this process and keep everything digital within your organization. So hopefully that gives you a bit of an idea of the capabilities of the Smart Form Toolkit process. Really, it's any business process that you're either using paper on or you're using some kind of form, maybe it's a PDF form, an Excel sheet, what have you, that you're sending around for review and approval, could be taken care of using the Smart Form Toolkit. All right, Patrick, I'll share it back to you.
Great. Thank you, Mark, for completing that demonstration. And do want to remind folks that if you have any questions at all, definitely put them into the chat and we'll get them answered towards the end of the session today. So if you have any questions, put them into the chat. Well, how does our DocLink solution with the forms differentiate and what the value it brings to your Acumatica? It's about creating these business forms, right? All different types of business forms that you may have throughout your organization, whether it's on the finance accounting side, depending on the business you're in, it could be, your operations department, it could be your HR department. Any different form that you want to set up and create, we can manage that all electronically within DocLink for your employees. There could be forms external to employees. There could be vendor forms or customer-related forms that you can publish DocLink out to your vendors and customers to use as well. Automating these document creation and then having functional approval and workflows for the created documents is huge. DocLink Opportunities is really great in terms of utilizing DocLink for your entire enterprise, whether it is the finance accounting side for AP or on the AR side. You can utilize DocLink on the HR side. We have many clients that utilize DocLink to store their employee files all electronically. So think about the numerous documents that employees have through the life cycle and their employment at your organization. Legal documents such as contracts, having the capability of managing different iterations and versions of contracts and expiration dates of contracts, so that 30 days, 60, 90 days before these contracts expire, it can send it out for folks to review and maybe negotiate terms, things like that, contracts between you and customers or you and vendors. Think about if you're an organization that does field service, when you have technicians out in the field, if they need to access documents related to customers or onboard documents, they can with their mobile device directly into DocLink. Sales order process, which we haven't touched on yet. Sales order automation, automating incoming purchase orders that come from your come from your customers that you want to automate, bringing that in, and maybe automate creation of those sales order into Acumatica. We can do that as well, right? Truly an enterprise-wide document and content management system. Why Altec and why DocLink? Altec's been around for 36 years. We have a full implementation team on board that is technical and has expertise, and not only on the ERP side, but then also with document management and business process automation. And our outstanding customer support. We provide support 24/7, 365 days a year. Outstanding customer support team that are all based here in North America. We have clients all over the world, so that's why we provide support 24/7, 365 days a year. And with that, I want to thank you folks for attending. Key takeaways from today's session is DocLink gives you a complete life cycle of document and transaction throughout your organization, whether it's the finance accounting department, managing AP, OCR, automated matching, but also enterprise-wide, where you're bringing on board customer-related documents, different types of business forms, contracts, and whatnot. And definitely visit us in the exhibit hall, the virtual exhibit hall, if you can. We'd love to see you there. With that, I do want to open things up to see if any questions came in.
Yes, please put your questions in the chat if you do have any, or in the Q&A tab, and we can answer those now for you. Okay, well, thank you everyone for joining, and thank you Altec for being a sponsor of acu-connect. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your day.